What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Happy Monday, happy holidays, whether you celebrate or not. So, as we're getting closer to 2026, one thing I wanted to mention that from the very first video to one of the videos of this early year that made was talking about graduating in 2025. This is not a graduation from a university, high school, or getting any specific recognition, diploma, or bachelor's degree, or anything in particular. This is what I like to call it waking up the mind, waking up your conscience. And everybody, I'm 100% sure they've been misled so much these previous years that 2025 began a wake up year for everybody. We all saw what happened on. Despite one event was kind of obvious that it was just for show, for money, entertainment, and the other one got exposed. The other individual was not particularly what he claimed to be, and everybody's slowly starting to come down to the exposed area. And this is something that I always try to teach everybody: is use your critical thinking skills, because nobody seems to be legit. This is why I always claim that I'm not here to create anything. I'm not trying to be a cult leader or anything. I'm just trying to give advice to people that might need it. For a very long time, as an individual that was brainwashed into a cult, I always kind of been fascinated with brainwashing and manipulation tactics, because everybody gives you this impression that they're good people. They're not. They're not here to help you. They're here to stab you in the back, drain you out of your wealth, out of your energy, and use you as for slavery. Even though slavery, metaphorically, what I mean is use your free labor, your skills, or anything that you can give out for free in the name of a creator, an ideology, a movement, whatever. Something that inspires you to believe that you're doing something good for humanity, which you're just being played. This world is brutal. It's extremely brutal. It's unfair to everybody, and it's going to get worse because we're going to be getting exposed to a lot of fake individuals that never really meant for any good for humanity. It's basically a brutal black pill of life, and I do believe that we're just being played. I remember some of the videos that I was watching earlier. People are claiming what happened to good people. I just feel like there is no such thing as good people, and I'm sorry to say that. I don't even like to call myself a good person. I just like to call myself a guy that's trying to do good as much as he can, despite that I have my imperfections. Sometimes you gotta act good, sometimes you gotta act selfish, because if you try to give this impression that you're a good guy, they're going to confuse your kindness with weakness, and that's how the world operates. And we've just been brainwashed that we had to be good all the time because we're going to get rewarded with something that it might not even be real. It's time for everybody to develop critical thinking, learn how to research, learn how to comprehend with reading levels, because obviously that's what's going to keep you alive and safe from rabbit holes, cult leaders, or people that are trying to trap you because they see they can benefit from you. This is why I don't go back to religion. Everybody keeps trying to persuade me to go back to any type of church. It doesn't even matter. It can be Islam or Christian, because obviously I'm surrounded with a lot of religious people here in the Midwest. It is kind of like the bell curve for religion. And I'm sorry, but I don't trust nobody anymore. I'm very skeptical. I cannot bear to think that there's someone out there to be good. I think everybody wants to give an impression that they're good people, and sometimes these are the more narcissistic individuals out there. I'm sure there's still good people out there that really want to do good. It's just nobody can be good for a long time. It's impossible. The world has always been unfair. It has a lot of, I don't know for sure, because people like to relate us to Satanism or the devil's influence, but I think we have a good side and a bad side. It's basically evolution. one part of our brain is still like primate. We have that barbarian primate side, and we have that part of the brain that has evolved, has conscience. Who knows for sure? But I just do believe that it's up to everybody um, to discover that on their own. I try to develop my own spiritualism. I still believe in a creator. It's just I don't believe in a lot of this religion, monotheism around the world. I think it's just a speculation, a belief, or something to make you live for. I mean, is the world evil or good? I don't think it's either. It's just people experiences. We live in a civilization where you're either the weaker side or the stronger side, the smarter side or the dumber side. Um, then you have your hard workers, your lazy workers. But if you really think about it, sometimes the lazy workers might get all the critique in the world of being this useless worker, but sometimes these are the people that strive for better. They become on top than the hard worker, because the hard worker is being exploited. And obviously, believe it or not, a lot of the bosses don't really want you to succeed. They want you to be exploited. If you're a hard worker, they'll give you all these compliments to really make you feel better by yourself, better than the smarter individual. Because let's face it, corporates, or everybody in the corporate world, or even businesses, they want to have the harder, work meals where they'll reward you with things to make you feel like you're doing something good for yourself, you're achieving for progress. But in reality, you just keep, they're keeping you in the hamster wheel. They're feeding you so you don't lose that energy or that enthusiasm, so continue to work. Because so there's this individual person that did mention this, that he would pick out the laziest workers because that would improve his business, because apparently the lazy workers sometimes turn out to be smarter than the hard worker. A lot of things that I've been noticing throughout my life has been a lot of lies, falsifications of looking or interpreting the world. And this is why I'm glad to be kind of, not saying this to brag or be arrogant, but I love to be bilingual, because, you can learn a lot of different theologies around the world. But you just got to be careful now. Nobody is out there for your good. Like I said, my advice is not going to work out for everybody. This is why I'm not trying to claim anything anymore. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't even making videos. It's a hobby. I just want to see who's out there. I just want to see if people have the same beliefs as I do, because obviously I don't trust anybody. It's hard to trust your siblings, your family members, because you don't know exactly how they view you behind closed doors or in their mind. Sometimes your siblings might have an affection with you as long as it's, bringing good positivity. When I mean good positivity, bringing good vibes, bring something valuable, then yeah, you're appreciated. But if you're like bringing nothing, or let's say you're unworthy of yourself, they're gonna really exclude you out. Let's face it. Sorry about that, guys. I have family members that are not considered as bright as others, and they just ridicule them, and they're family related, blood related. They ridicule them, they kind of like make fun of them, or just plain simple imagine the worst of them. So it's why there's no good people anymore. I don't think it ever existed. It's just you have your positive side, you have your negative side, you have your more civilization side of the part of the brain, and the other part is still primate. It's still uninvolved. This is why I fully agree with George Carlin. Rest in peace, George Carlin. One of my favorite comedians. We human beings believe we have evolved, but just because we can build these computers, programs, whatever, but we still have, a lot of things that we need to evolve. We still have that violent gene. We still have that typical tribalistic mindset. So it's very difficult. I don't know, but as 2025 has been going through, I don't have the same mentality as I used to back in the day. I was so enthusiastic about going to work, making the money, progressing, but all I learn is I'm just being used for my physical labor because I have the energy. I'm still young. I never really put any fits about work, never complain. And yeah, I'm not progressing because they want to keep me there. They want to keep me as a work mule. And little specks of rebellion, it's ridicule. It's automatically a ridicule. Going to be labeled as a youngster that doesn't have his life together, or he doesn't appreciate the value of what he has, because obviously that's what happens if you try to do anything different from your parents or your boss's beliefs. You're gonna be put on the shameful list of individuals that don't have any gratitude or any appreciation for giving an opportunity to work for them. That's something you got to also realize, that it doesn't even matter. You can be working for family members or non-family workers. When there's money, greed, or selfishness mentality, you're not going to be viewed as a family member. You're going to be viewed as a number, an employee. And once you become an adult, there's the excuse that you're a grown-up individual. Specifically, if you're a male, you're a grown-ass male. That's how they like to portray it. And it's up to you, and it's your fault if you succeed or unsucceed. And why did I feel inspired to make this video? Because I already knew there was something wrong with all these influencers. Like, I am not, I understand I do YouTube videos, but I'm not trying to be someone that I am not. This is why I always tell the truth. Like, yes, I've dated, yes, I experienced with women, but don't get me wrong, these were women that I was never attracted to. I'm not here to be a misogynistic or narcissistic. It might sound like I am, but I'm not. This is the truth. Throughout my life, the dating life, I haven't gotten anything beautiful. I got destructive, partners, and it's not like I chose them because I wanted to. It's just basically that's what I had available. And a lot turns out to be because I'm not tall enough. So obviously that height does really affect the dating world. But already I'm aware of that. And my advice is just trying to help out individuals, kind of like, obviously we're not going to ever change the world, because I don't think we have evolved yet. I think a part of our brain has a lot to improve or evolve, whatever the case it be. But at least try to make it a small amount of effort to make it at least more balanced. I'm not asking for a perfect world, because it's unachievable at this moment. And everybody used to believe were good people turn out to be the worst people, or just narcissistic individuals that manipulated you. And this is why I don't trust nobody. I don't care to strive for friendship anymore, because I don't know exactly who is going to be on my side when I'm at the deepest, lowest point of my life, because there's always that situation that can occur when you're in a devastated situation, because a lot of obstacles can come thrown your way. And when it's a situation that it's a little bit difficult for us to get out, you're going to notice who is on your side and who isn't. Or there's going to be someone that might save you, but here's the trick, these are the individuals you got to watch out for, because these people are not there to really help you out of heart. They're trying to help you to get something off of you. If it's a economic situation, they're going to see what you have available in store. If it's your house, your car, they might help you out, but they want something in return. I've seen this before, where some business owners in my local areas, or entrepreneurs, get a loan from someone, and they believe that these were good, generous people that understand how difficult it is to have a business, but in reality, they were not there for their best interest or trying to improve the community. They saw they had property, they saw they had houses, cars, so in exchange they loan them some money with interest rates, because they know that and here's the funny part, they even did a documentary with the bank or something like that. I don't know exactly how it worked out, because I'm still not as knowledgeable in certain parts of the business, specifically when it comes to individual entrepreneurs. But the guy lent him the money. Obviously his business got a little bit better after the pandemic, but it still hasn't improved. And obviously, he was taking a while to pay the loan. So the guy that loaned him told him it was time up. Either if he can get the money, or he wanted to embark one of his properties. And what he got? 2 houses of this individual and another individual. I don't know exactly what happened, but he was in a desperate debt, and he had to kind of sell some percentage of his own business to the other individual because he could not pay that loan at a specific time. See, it's very difficult. It's black pill. It's brutal. I hate even talking about this right now. Just imagine all of this. It makes my optimistic going down the hill. I feel a little bit depressed because it's the truth. You don't know who is out there to really help you. This is why it's hard to really debunk a lot of stuff now. People are trying to debunk the black pill. They're trying to debunk people like us. And I'm a guy that has no hatred, no resentment. I don't want to harm nobody. When it comes to, it's not their fault or my fault that I'm not as popular. If I'm not dating, it's not the women's fault. Everybody is out there living their life. But if I'm trying to share some advice, I still get attacked. I still get some of my videos removed. I think there's individuals that don't like what I'm saying. I don't consider myself like a public, this big public speaker or a guy that can really do damage. Because I don't think my speeches are that strong enough to even be considered dangerous. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like people don't like some type of advice that I'm giving out, because it's I'm not giving you a negative or a positive. I'm giving you a more realistic side of the world. As millennials, we've been living through some wild things throughout these past decades. I don't know, guys. It's up to you guys to save yourselves. Get knowledgeable. Develop critical thinking. Don't exclude education, despite that there's negativity with education. And people that are telling you not to do this or do this, you also got to watch out for them. They're probably trying to get you into a specific scenario where you're dependent on them. This is why I'm not political anymore. I don't follow any ideologies. I'm not patriotic. I'm not a nationalist individual. I don't have ethnic pride, anything like that, because nobody's out there for your own good. And people that are, it doesn't matter your color, your skin, because I feel everybody's the same. But if you're out there trying to be, either patriotic or ethnic or whatever, watch carefully some of these individuals. Not all of them are there for your, to really be there for you. They need you because you're a good number, you're a good asset. So just think about it. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm not here to disabuse your beliefs. Believe whatever you want. You live your life the way it makes you happy. But basically the point of this video is just be careful out there. Everybody's getting exposed. Take 2025 as a year of graduation, because you're waking up and you're noticing that things are unrealistic now. And if there's good people or bad people, I don't know. We have to really relook the term good people, read it carefully and acknowledge it for ourselves, because obviously everybody has different opinions. But there's one guy, which I'm not going to mention too much of his channel because he has nothing to do with this manosphere or part of the YouTube, but he has said it clearly, and I love one of his videos. He's like, I don't like to describe myself as a good person, because everybody can say I'm a good person and they're not. There's something worse. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys do have some positive things for this week. Enjoy your free time, man. Whether it's this part of the year that's very pessimistic, because a lot of us are alone, but there's nothing that we can really do. It's just the world that we live in is selfish. It's unfair. It's it's brutality. It's basically, I don't know. I think narcissistic. There's a narcissistic epidemic. But everybody is responsible to search for their own beliefs, information. So a little bit of homework for you guys. So you guys take care, man. enjoy and appreciate and gratitude for taking time out of your day to listen to these videos, despite that I'm not. Sometimes I don't make myself clear enough because I don't have time to even make these videos. Right now I gotta get back to work. But well, that's it for today. Peace out and take care.